Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of A Day in the Future. Today, I will have the great pleasure of talking to Elio D'Anna, one of my favorite authors. He's the author of School for Gods and Technology of the Dreamer, and the quintessence of his philosophy is the fact that reality is only a pale shadow of your inner self, meaning that you're responsible for everything that you create. Everything that's external, it's only you, but translated into fragments of reality. He's a philosopher, musician, writer, entrepreneur. He has done many great things during his life, and he's also the president of the European School of Economics, where he teaches other students, dreamers, how to live with full integrity towards themselves and be able to create their dream each and every day. I have the great pleasure again of talking to Elio, and hope you'll enjoy this episode because I will surely do so.
Hi, Catalin.
Hi, Elio. It's a pleasure meeting you. Uh, I was looking forward this conversation for a while now. I think there are so many questions that have arisen through what I've read and through how we can apply that philosophy of life towards oneself. So I'm really eager to start the conversation.
Yeah, if you read the book, you see that everything is very simple, but probably difficult to apply. But you see, there is one principle that can answer all your questions, which is, the world is as it is because you are as you are. And this is, for me, the compression of the philosophy and the way that if you understand it, you do not need anything else. And you see, the motto of my school, I don't know if you know about the European School of Economics, is visibile ex invisibilibus, which means whatever you touch, whatever you see and hear comes from within. And it's the world is just an expression of your inner being. First of all, we have to understand that the outer world and the inner one are one and the same thing. Then we have been taught, and the description of the world tells us that the outer and the inner are two separate realities, which I realized that they are not. They are just one. Then if you understand what is going on within yourself, you understand why the world is as it is. And then everything, all and everything depends upon you. And then this, for you yourself, thesis to complain, to blame, to accuse the world for all your misfortunes or accidents or disease or whatever. Then you stop blaming the others for what is happening to you. And this is very difficult to accept. The world and the others are just an extension of your inner being. And but we are used to blame the others and find justifying excuses to our, let's say, errors, mistakes, or difficulties and troubles. But when you really realize that you yourself are the creator and the dreamer of all and everything, I mean, you have just to be very careful of what is going on within yourself and nothing else. Then this is, I think that this answers to all your questions, because I have here 10 questions coming from you. And I can tell you that visibilia ex invisibilibus answers to all your questions, or somebody else's question. Yeah.
I agree. So for me, what I'm trying to do through this question is try to give some practical advice to people that are trying to apply this simple principle. And I'm going to give you an example of how I applied myself. Like, whenever I saw small shatters in my own integrity, how I could see that I'm not living truly to myself was by small things that appeared in the external world, problems or issues or whatever, something that didn't seem like a dream. And whenever I would see that, the problems, I would analyze how that problem is basically a shadow of my inner, of the things that aren't.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's the thing is that we have to consider the time factor, which is very tricky, and the time deceives us. We do not understand things just because there is a time that creates this, let's say, double realities. And but if you are able to delete, to cancel time, you will see that reality will get closer and closer to your inner being, and you understand. Then it's being plus time is what the world is, and then you are the creator and the author of whatever is happening out there. And if you understand that the inner and outer are one, vision and reality are one, action and contemplation are one, and more than any other thing that can be of your interest, you are an entrepreneur, then to understand that financial power and love are one and the same thing, then you found in my books that I gave an explanation to love, which is in Latin, in Spanish, French, or Italian. It's amore, amor, which means absence of death. Absence of death. It means that you have to be very careful to all your inner death. Whatever is happening within yourself is just, we are dying thousands of times during the day, but we are unaware of it. And then if you are aware of your inner deaths, they start to disappear. And then the outer world will get closer and closer to your inner being. And you will understand much more that your being is the very author and creator of your outer reality. Then you said to know yourself, you want to know much more about yourself. And then my realization is that we have first to know what we are not. what you are not. This is much more important. Then if you get closer and closer to what you are not, then you will see that your inner being will come up and to show up and see that your inner being, your real self will come out. But we have to eliminate layers and layers of what we are not, layers and layers of useless stuff.
And because this is a challenging thing to do for people. Like for myself, it has been challenging. And my question would be: are there any practices, any I would use
Discipline.
technology discipline? Okay, so it's all about discipline towards, and it's quite simple in a way, but hard at the same time. It's about discipline towards what you say to yourself.
No, no discipline. I don't believe in any discipline. I I have been through all disciplines to understand that you don't need any of them. No disciplines, no meditation, no contemplation, no whatever you call exercises to. I mean, you cannot become what you already are. It's impossible. I mean, it's like to ask the God to know himself or herself, whatever. But it's and go through a discipline to understand what you really are. This is nonsense. I cannot share any discipline. I cannot tell you that there is a discipline. There must be understanding. Understanding is it's very, very important. Then let's say that if you pay attention to yourself, you will see that any fear, any doubt or anxiety or let's say negative emotions can be a way for you to turn towards your real self. Then when you are aware of fear within yourself, just being aware, you can say this is a discipline. Just being aware, it's let this fear or doubt or whatever to disappear, or destructive thought. It disappears at the moment that you pay attention to that. And this is a self-observation, if you want to call it a discipline. But that is just to understand, what is going on within. And this is, where the world, the outer world is very attractive. And, we are identified with whatever is happening out there. And we forget about ourselves. And this is the main, let's say, sin that we can.
Exactly.
We have.
Exactly. Especially during these times in which we are bombarded with information from everywhere in the digital world. It's tougher and tougher to achieve awareness, especially inner awareness. Now, in this path or in this journey of achieving or being able to have complete awareness towards oneself at all times, having this many obstacles that in this era appear, like you have Facebook, you have news on that, you have each day you are bombarded with information from all directions. How can we make it easier to go towards oneself? That's what I would
Yeah, it's the outer world is very attractive, and it's difficult to de-identify, to let's say deprogram your from all that, which is it doesn't take time. You have to understand it right now. You don't need to go through something that is a method or a system or a discipline. You will spend all your a lifetime to follow or to chase disciplines and methods, and you will be very disappointed. And this is what happened to me a long time ago. And to understand that there is nothing coming from outside that can give you this sort of realization, let's say, to understand. Understanding belongs to you. And you cannot do anything to reach something that is already there within yourself. You have just turn towards yourself and see that you yourself are the very cause of whatever is happening out there. I mean, it's so simple, but we are all victims of something that we ourselves create. Then the chaos or the problems and the wars and conflicts and disease that we see out there, it's something that is born within ourselves. We are the very cause of whatever is happening. You are. I mean, sorry about this, but if you have read the technology of the dreamer, I mean, when they say, but how can I be the person that is creating all that mess and chaos? I mean, it's if you really become responsible for yourself, for your inner being, you will understand that the outer world is just a reflection. It's just a projection. Then you cannot blame the outer world for something that is happening to you. And just to remember that whatever is happening out there has to have your inner consent, your inner approval to happen. Otherwise, it cannot happen.
So once you achieve that realization, I'm talking again from my own experience. I do achieve from time to time that realization, and I'm able to live it through. But sometimes I forget. That's the tough part in my perspective.
Right.
Forgetting, and I see. Okay, how can you build a continuous awareness? And I know it happens in this moment. But how can we forget less? If that's a question that, yeah. How can
you have to permanently remember yourself.
Yeah.
And then when it's right now it's difficult, but you have to try to self-remember. And you will see that remembering means to gather the members together. Then right now we are fragmented beings, and we have to just gather together all our members, which are spread out in all things outside ourselves. You have to just to gather together yourself and to understand when you will become an integrity, when you will become the unity, which is something that is already there. Then we, through our forgetfulness, we lost ourselves, and we were attracted by something outside ourselves, and believing that all the things that are happening are just something coming from outside, which is not. And it is all coming from you. Also, all the wars and conflicts that you are witnessing outside yourself, they all come from within. This is the greatest realization that I can say I am the expression of this understanding. I tried to in my books just to convey to the reader, what happened to me, and only if you give up all methods and system and disciplines, you can reach something that really belongs to you.
Okay, that's deep. Yeah.
And that is difficult because it's we today you can see there is no one in the world that is not meditating to try to reach something. But meditation is, from my point of view, is another way for sleeping.
Mm.
and what I mean by dreaming is not desiring at all. You can say I decided to become rich, or to have a great career, or to have a beautiful house, a beautiful family. Okay, but that is a desire. Desire will never realize itself. Only dreaming. Dreaming is not happening in time. Then you are dreaming right now what you are and what you have. And you are dreaming also of not having what you do not have. I don't know if I am, if you are able, you are, putting obstacles to what you could really have, just by deciding or expecting, hoping, wishing. This is all negative. Then you are dreaming right now what you are and what you have. Now you have to eliminate time, because you can get closer and closer to yourself. And that is not meditation, that is understanding.
Understanding of oneself. And how would you describe a dreamer in the sense of the book? How would you describe a dreamer in present times? If you were to if you were to look in the world and see few dreamers, if
Yeah.
how would you describe them, or what makes them?
Yes.
Mhm.
Dreamer is, for me, to die less. To die less and lesser within yourself. This is dreaming. And this is something that you only can do for yourself.
Mhm.
To die less, it means that you pay attention to what is happening within yourself. Pay attention and self-observation, and you will see that when you are aware of a death within yourself, this is the way. This is the way. You shouldn't change that negative emotions within you. You should never try to change it. You have just to be aware of it. And this is great. If you are aware of something very negative, of the hell within yourself, just being aware of it, it will little by little dissolve. Just being aware. Then when difficult moments come within yourself and the world outside yourself is attacking you, just, be still. Just eliminate whatever is in contact with you. Telephone, people, friends, sex, whatever. And just be with yourself. This is not meditation. It's just to watch what is going on.
Mhm. And so, in the life of an entrepreneur, for example, there are a lot of intense moments that you go through, like challenges, situations, and there is this concept of living effortlessly. So, whenever challenges do arise, when you want to build something bigger, when you want to create something of a greater importance, at least in your vision, or that has a bigger impact, corresponding challenges come to you. Now, how can you apply the effortless concept to these
Yeah,
challenges?
yeah. This is interesting because all the students at the European School of Economics um, um, uh, make the same question. You know, okay, how can I deal with the world outside myself when attacks or when the antagonist comes and when you know it's there is a big fight outside yourself. You know, to be calm or to be let's say quiet or integrated within yourself. This doesn't resolve any problem outside yourself. Then this, you know, if you have read the book, you see that there is a chapter dedicated to the art of acting as an actor and as an actress does. And this is very, very important. Acting doesn't mean a lie. Acting consciously is the way that you can deal with the outer world, acting with the outer world, and remain intact within yourself. Mm-hmm. The moment that comes with violence and aggressiveness, it is creating within yourself a sort of awareness. You will turn towards yourself and see where that violence is coming from. And it is coming from you, from nowhere else, but from within. And then the moment that you pay attention to that violence within yourself, you see that the outer world will disappear. The violence in the outer world will disappear. It's very simple. I can say almost childlike. It's a good game. If you remember your childhood, you will understand that you were acting when you were very, very little. You were acting with your parents and with your friends. But now you are called to do the same, acting as an actor, but consciously, intentionally.
So you basically create plays for yourself, and those plays are meant for you to enjoy, created by you, and the degree of, how can I say, randomness, or the degree of how hard it is, it's something that you subconsciously know that are capable to play or act out when you create them, the plays. That's how I see it, in a sense that whatever.
I don't have in my vocabulary subconsciously.
Okay.
But, you mean when something something negative happens in the outer world, you know, it is your creation. Mm-hmm. It is your creation. It is your unawareness. When you were distracted, and then you were not aware of what was going on within yourself, and then you were just lost in the outer world, identified with whatever was happening outside yourself. Now, if you are constantly, permanently aware of yourself, you will see that the world cannot do otherwise. Will just reflect this attention, this awareness. And then you will see that the world outside yourself cannot express anymore conflicts or a war or a disease or let's say bankruptcy. You know, it's impossible because if it happens, you turn towards yourself and see where the very cause is. And you will see that you yourself are the source of all and everything.
And so I'm just thinking, what, because you were mentioning in a few parts of the book running, and I saw running as something that appeared near meeting the dreamer. Am I right or not in this sense?
Oh, I say,
That's how I
you
remember.
are, yeah, the protagonist in the book, and was my brother, and the person who was asking for help was on the verge of killing himself, and then the dreamer appears, but it's I couldn't say this is my brother, this is me, this is it's the it, it happened that a long time ago I was in the States, and my brother called me because he was really on the verge of killing himself, and he was in a very bad state, and I left in all my business in the States. I was a musician. I don't know if you read it about me.
Yes.
I was a rock star at that time, and I could and I it was a period of, after the music, a period in the States of solitude. I was really with myself for 3 years without meeting anybody and being just with myself, to discover that all the methods and the disciplines that I did up to that time, it was useless. And that was a great understanding. That was a great realization, freedom, I can say, because when you get rid of all that stuff that we read, and masters and teachers, gurus and coaches and all that things, you will feel free, and that freedom will create an incredible reality. Then it's very simple to understand that the outer world is you yourself, and is a materialization of your inner being. Then you have just to pay attention to yourself to understand what is going on out there. And this is, you see that I repeat always the same thing, because you yourself are the creator. Then the world is waiting for you, because it can be released and free. It's when you're free, the world is free. When you suffer, the world suffers. When you are enjoy, the world enjoys. This is very simple, but very difficult to accept, because the outer world is for us the world of causes, and we are just effects. Then I turned upside down this equation, and then I understood that you yourself are the cause, and the world is just the effect. Then it's for all the sufferings that of the world, you have to be responsible for that, and that is not easy to accept.
No, it's very, very difficult to accept that, and but that's the path towards living the dream. That's how I see it. But it's really interesting now that you say you tell me about the protagonist and the dreamer, because there was one passage in the book when the dreamer told the protagonist that, okay, buy some tickets, find some tickets for display that will be at the theater, and he tried and tried to find some tickets, and the dreamer was certain in his whole, like he was certain, full integrity of the fact that it will happen, and it happened. And that was a really good example in which I was able to understand the power of certainty towards oneself and how it can,
Very good,
yeah, yeah,
very good, very good, very good. And you see, this is this is the example where a person is a victim of the world outside yourself. When the, um, the man of the hotel tells him, there are no tickets. Look, you have to wait 2 or 3 months to have a ticket. It's there. Many clients call me to have a ticket for the Les Miserables, but it's impossible. And this is what happened, really what happened. And the dreamer takes it. We were in London. That time you could get the bus with a jump, and without asking to anybody, we went there and to the theater, and the show was already on, but there were 2 people there, mother and son, with 2 tickets. They were waiting for us. They said, look, don't buy anything because we have 2 people didn't come, 2 friends of ours didn't come. And that is the example of how you eliminate time. Exactly. And only dream remains. Dreaming is not the oniric way of that you have in your sleeping time. Dreaming is right now. You are dreaming what I am telling you in this very moment, and it is not someone outside yourself who is telling you something, but it is you yourself. You have to you want to always approve that the things that you understood, things that really belong to you, is something that you can prove outside yourself. But that is always the enigma. You are still trying to explain yourself how to be timeless and to be deathless. Then it's the protagonist is a victim of time, and then whatever the time, and the time is the world, whatever the world tells him, it is a law. It is something that you believe what the outer world is telling you or is doing to you. But when you understand that all comes from within and you are the only source of all and everything, I mean, there is no one outside yourself that can tell you otherwise, because you are creating that show. You are creating the 2 people who were there waiting for you. You are creating the person that is doubting, the protagonist who is doubting, but you are, embracing all that. You are the author. You are the creator, but you are the God that really forgot your very nature, and you have to go back to to what really is your nature, to understand that all happens as a reflection of yourself and not otherwise. The world outside yourself is totally passive. Then it cannot do anything against you. Only you yourself can hurt yourself. Only you yourself can harm yourself, and no one outside yourself. Out there is no enemy, no violence, no conflict, no disease. There is only you yourself who forgot yourself.
Just so I can take the conversation in the future, although when we are like in this particular episode, when we are talking about time, like everything is timeless. And I understand like, a simple example from my experience of how the past and the future changes in each moment. tomorrow I might be seeing life, even past, even future, in a totally different way from what I see it yesterday, and that just proves the, in my perspective, the concept of timeless, because everything begins now. Everything is in this moment. Reality is created now, and it's now. But if we were to look,
what you call reality, the outer world, is just an expression of this very moment. And then if you pay attention to this moment, you are using your awareness, and then awareness can, in time become something that will be all gratitude to you, because you are in a state of attention, and then the outer world will express you this attention, this awareness, with a sort of gratitude. The world will be all gratitude to you, just because you are very, very aware of what is going on. Doesn't matter if there is hell or paradise within yourself. If you are aware of it, all the negative things that you could imagine coming from out there will disappear. Absolutely. Because awareness creates, a heaven on earth. Awareness, just awareness. And this is what I call dreaming, just awareness. Then if you want to solve all your problems, just, don't try to change the outer world. You cannot change, you cannot remove a pin in the outer world. You have just to turn towards yourself and see that the very cause of whatever is happening out there, negative or positive, is coming from within.
While reading the technology of the dreamer, where I got to is the fact that others do not exist, in a sense that you create the outside. It's because
They
it's
do exist. They do exist, but they're coming from you. Yeah.
exactly coming from me. So my question would be, in a world where everyone could live fully, how can I say, um, with full integrity towards themselves, how would that world look like? Or uh, I know
You
it's
see,
it's a really yeah,
it's difficult to
I know.
get rid of the idea that the others, every person is having her own dream, and it's my answer is don't worry about the others. Worry only about yourself. If you want to do something for the others, you have to do it within yourself.
Mhm.
And then, you cannot, you can say, I love my wife, I love my woman, I love my parents, and all those things. But, if you pay attention to the deathlessness within yourself, then you don't need to express love for anybody, because it will come out naturally. Then you have to die less within. And, it's to die less, it means to be present to yourself all the time, permanently present to yourself. You see, we are forgetful gods. We forgot. I have to use the we, you, yourselves, or ourselves, but I could say just I, but that is could not be understood. It could be a presumptuousness or whatever. But I say you are the very cause of whatever is happening out there, then just be responsible for yourself. Responsible means to respond. Responsible means to answer. Quindi then be answerable. Be responsible means be answerable and not questionable. You should never question yourself or whatever. You have just to be a witness, because if you have doubts, fears about yourself, or you don't believe it to be responsible for whatever is happening out there, it creates a sort of grimace, a sort of let's say negative attitude within yourself that will just manifest as a sort of calamity or accidents or whatever. It's you have to be aware of what is happening within yourself, and you will see that the outer world will correspond to that presence. And it's now you have to go in the world. You have you have a family, you have children, you have a job, you have people who are depending upon you for whatever you're doing, employees and all those things, commercialists, and you have to pay taxes and all those things. Okay, you have to do it always maintaining this arrow of attention towards yourself. Whatever you're doing, you have to be present to yourself. Whatever you are doing, you can fight. You can have a sort of fight in a court or against someone, a competitor or whatever, an antagonist. Or you have to be very strict, very severe, and outside yourself. But within yourself, you should never keep any rage or hate or negative emotions towards anybody, because that is only you yourself. You are dealing with yourself. You are the all and everything. This is then someone said, but then you mean I am God? Yes, you are God, but a forgetful God. You forgot your entity, your identity, your very nature, and then you fell in what you created. And then the creation is underneath. Is something that you created. Is a production of yourself, and you became a victim of your own creation. This is the fable, the novel of Dr. Frankenstein, who created a sort of a monster. This is what we create, because it was the reflection of his forgetfulness. Then you can create a monster, which is a world which is always in violence and war and conflicts. But all that is coming from you and from within. Then if you understand this, I mean, the world is something that you can really transform in something very, very grateful and very, very, very pleasurable.
Do you see the need of helping others understand this and achieving higher awareness? Do you see this need as an inner debt in any way? Like, what I'm thinking is, if I can achieve this state, how can I then give it to other and to more people? When I
You don't need.
that's the question. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So, You don't need it because whatever is happening to you, you don't need to transfer to the others. You don't need it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sort of vanity. I tell you, this is the vanity of all masters and teachers, and this is just vanity. You don't need it. If you understand, the entire world understands. Mm-hmm. Then you don't need to be a missionary or to embrace any philosophy or ideology or religion. I mean, when you understand, when you heal yourself, the entire world is healed. Then you can say, but do you think that the war between Russia and Ukraine can end if I reach this integrity? I said, it doesn't matter. If you are within yourself in that sort of conflict, non-conflict, no limits within yourself, I mean, you can also witness a war outside yourself, but that will never touch you because that is just an expression of your it's an expression of your completeness. Mm-hmm. You cannot change the show, but you will never identify with the show as a movie that you see, and you will see that all that is happening or coming from news and media and TVs and it's all something that is has been, sorry if I have to find the right words, all that show is just for your own entertainment. It is, you can say, but this is cynical or very egoistic. But I tell you that nothing is happening out there without your inner approval. Then you are creating a beautiful show, a beautiful play, a beautiful just for your own entertainment. When you identify with it, you fall in a drama. You fall in something that will attack you and and you will get lost.
So, going with this concept of a show, are there multiple shows that exist at the same time from multiple perspectives, from multiple persons? Like it's my show,
no.
your that's okay.
No, there is only your show, nothing else. It is just you yourself. There is nobody else show. It's impossible. And we give a reality to the outer world, and then the others and the life outside ourselves, we call it reality. But reality is you yourself. That is just an expression of what you are. Then I know that many with this understanding, many things that we are used to identify with because we believe that is the truth and that is the reality. They will fall into nothingness, but that is your freedom. I mean, if you remain identified with what is the description of the world, what they told you about the world, which is always you yourself projecting that, but identifying with your product, with your creation, that is to become a victim of something that you yourself invented and created. then, it's to return, there are not 8 billions of people dreaming 8 billions of dreams. There is only you yourself. And if you want to do something for the world, you have to do it for yourself. Remembering yourself. If you remember yourself, the world is safe.
And just so I try to get into this, because it's harder due to the philosophy and how you and I, through our discussion, see the world. It might be hard, but it is the title of the podcast, and I will try to get into the subject.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does a day in the future look like for a world full of dreamers? A world in which, because I understand that it's only about you. You need to you need to be really aware of what you are, and how everything that's outside, it's only, okay, some shatterings or some manifestation, or not manifestation, maybe not even that is the good word, but it just reflects what you are inside. But if you were to look at reality, it's hard to even ask the question. um,
What we call reality.
yeah, what we call reality, what would a day in the future in which people are, most of people, if not all, are able to tap into their true selves at all times? How would that world look like, a day in the future? And I know it's,
And
yeah.
yeah, if you remember the in the ancient um, story of Athens, and what Socrates was saying about to about to remember yourself. He was saying, know yourself, know thyself, and that was something much more ancient than Socrates, because on the oracle, on the doors of the oracles in Athens, in Delphi, there were two sentences, which one was know thyself, know yourself, and on the other door there was and you will know the will of the gods. Then you see, this is what we are just talking about. The will of the gods is your inner will. If you know yourself, you will know the will of the gods. But that was 2,500 years ago, let's say, if time exists. But it is something that we are just inventing right now. To know yourself, you have to go through to knowing what you are not, which is the 99% of what you believe to be. And then you will see that you get closer and closer to something real. And that is interesting, because the closer you become, and then the transformation within and without will happen. A very a great transformation of the world outside yourself. The world will answer differently, will mirror you differently. And this is interesting. Now, I know that we cannot get free of the others and the world outside ourselves. That's why I introduced the art of acting, because without the art of acting, you get lost. The art of acting helps you to remember what you are, and at the same time you can deal with the entire world, with the others. Who are your inventions?
Mm-hmm.
And it's then you know, it's because, you know, the outer and the inner are one and the same, but you invented a beautiful play, a beautiful game, and you have to respect it with all the rules and with all the regulations. You cannot give up that show. You have to do it. Sometimes you have to enter into the show and having a role, and you have to play that role, and you cannot do it. You cannot do it not obeying those rules and regulations. You have to, you know, you are the inventor, the creator, the author, and dreamer, but at the same time you are also a protagonist or a back protagonist of the show.
And if there are, again, I'm gonna get to a point from a different angle. You put out shows for yourself and you act in them. That's how you deal with things that come. Are there overlapping shows in your perspective? Overlapping shows in which others also are having their own show in a way in that show that you're having.
No, if you remember in the School for Gods, there is the game of the, I don't know if I called it the game, but there was the game of the encounters. I don't know if you remember this.
Mm-hmm.
No, at where the dreamer takes the protagonist to meet all his bosses and people that he knew in the past. You know, to understand that he was led and guided by very mediocre people,
Mm-hmm.
and those people are you yourself. It is your mediocrity that is governing your life. You know, this is it is painful to accept, but that is so. We are guided by something that we ourselves invented. You yourself invented, and this is, and you create, and you believe that that is a reality, and then you just suffer, and you will suffer all your life until you understand that you are the owner, the creator of that reality. When you realize this, what we call reality will change completely.
Do you believe that, or is there a way through which technology can actually help us forget less? Or because what I'm thinking about now, a more common theme and subject in the last few years, especially in America, are psychotechnologies or psychedelics. What do you think about those? Like, how do you see those?
What do you mean psychedelic
Yes, psychedelics like
technology?
psilocybin.
Yes,
Yeah,
but there is a technology that you call psychological technology.
yeah. I was like it's a syntagm that refers to things such as psychedelics that are put into use of, like through research, through experiments in helping people understand more of themselves, like therapeutical, and yeah, it's a new trend
What?
that has emerged.
Yes, but this is a method. I am not. I cannot accept it.
Hmm.
I don't think that you as a god, you as the author, you as the dreamer need some therapeutical system to know yourself. That is really very very sad. It's very sad that a human being has to find a method, a device outside yourself to understand what you are or who you are. That is really very, 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 that is a shame. That is a shame from my point of view. From my point of view, but you will see that the entire world is in the hands of psychologists and doctors and psychiatric and all those things. But it's that is degradation of your humanity within. This is when you forget yourself, then you offer yourself. You put yourself in the hands of somebody else, believing that that person or that method can help you, but you will go worse and worse.
Yeah, because it's like taking a part of yourself in the external world, you're creating that and you're looking at that as the solution to something that already existed before.
Yes, any methods, any
Mhm.
device coming from outside will only uh, degrade you and not improve you, never. Within yourself, there is all and everything. You have just to be patient, to understand what is going on within. And if you are able to witness a fear within yourself and be there until that fear disappears, dissolves from within, then you will see that all solutions, healing, and answers can come from outside, because you create all the problems and also the solution, the question and the answer, the disease and the healing. It's all up to you. Then if you want to become a victim, it's up to you. And this is a victim is only can be victim only of himself, herself. You can be victim of yourself, not of somebody else. It's impossible. That somebody, that if you created someone outside yourself that you believe that is victimizing yourself, it means just that you forgot that let's say predator or killer outside yourself is always you yourself.
Yes. So,
It's I know that we can just remain on what I said in the very beginning. The world is as it is because you are as you are. And if you remember yourself, the world will be safe. And it's if you want to do something for the people, if you want to help someone, you have to understand that nobody needs any help. Nobody. Everybody is put in a perfect location and situation where he can improve himself or herself. Then nobody needs your help. And you do not need any help coming from outside. You are the creator. You are the dreamer. And as I said before, you, whatever you have and whatever you are dreaming right now. And if you want to change your having and your being, you have to do it right now in absence of time. In time is just, time is just mirroring what you are. And it's in time, it's what you are. If you are unaware of yourself and, fear is ruling your life, is governing your life, then you will find a disaster outside yourself. You will find a fight, a war outside yourself. And also economically, I have a school of economics. The European School of Economics is a school of business. And he's telling to her students, that you are the very cause of whatever is happening out there. Then if some bankruptcy happens in your life, you have to be aware of the bankruptcy that happened within yourself, and that is what you missed. That is something that is missing. The fact that you were unaware of that crack within your dream, within your vision.
Yes, or you chose to discard it instead of focusing on it.
Yes, you some I can say only you forgot, because to say to discard it means that you were aware of it, and you being aware of it, it will make it to disappear. Then you cannot suffer anything coming from outside. It's impossible, because it's always reflecting and mirroring. Whatever is coming from outside is mirroring what you are. Then if you are aware of something wrong within yourself, that wrong thing will never materialize, because you are aware of it.
Yes.
It's impossible. You are a guardian. You are someone who circumscribe that negative thing, and it will never materialize in the outer world. Then this is timelessness. This is deathlessness, and this is I had a conference with Professor his name
Lipton, Bruce Lipton. Yeah.
Lipton. Yeah, Professor Lipton. And the title I gave to our meeting was deathlessness. The answer to all and everything. Deathlessness, the answer to all and everything. Now, deathlessness is a state of being. Someone said, then we become immortal. We can become immortal. You can become immortal. Yet, if you are deathless within yourself, of course, you cannot die, not in the outer world. But to be deathless, it means to be in a state of absence of death. Then you are loving yourself inside. Loving yourself inside will never allow you to die, not even a physical death.
Mm-hmm.
But this is something that will come later.
Yes.
Right now, pay attention to your inner being. Don't try to change it. Don't try to transform something negative in positive. You will never succeed. Never. Just watch it, observe it, be witness, present to that very thing, and you will see that little by little your inner world becomes, you will never have a conflicts within yourself, never limits within yourself, and then the outer world has to reflect all this. Now, right now, we are within ourselves, just destructive thoughts and negative emotions, negative attitudes. Now we have to just be present to this, and everything will be done for ourselves.
So, thinking of, can we think of, or in your perspective, humankind taken as a collective, how does that look? Humankind. Is it like multiple individuals? How do you see that, humankind?
Humanity.
Yes, humanity. Yes.
Yeah, it's again, humanity is an expression of your inner being. I mean, humanity is not an entity outside yourself. It is not. It's our forgetfulness that makes us believe that there is an entity called humanity. You are humanity. In the very meaning of the word, you are humanity. Humanity suffers because you are suffering. Humanity is conflictual because you have inner conflicts within yourself. Humanity is in war. Humanity is suffering the pandemic crisis. But it's you yourself. The virus is not out there. The virus is within ourselves. You can say, okay, within our body. No, it is in our vision. We need that reality or that expression of reality just to justify our inner mediocrity.
Because I always think about humanity and its evolution, and that's like even from like the concept of the podcast was started out of a curiosity regarding how humanity evolves. Now, from what I understand now, is that humanity and its evolution or whatever happens, it's my full responsibility regarding how it will, how can I say, hmm, map out in the future or become. But again, when we talk about the yeah.
Yeah, I know that it is difficult because when I say you are the very beginning of all and everything, then there is no other question. It's impossible. Then whatever you prepared before, just it goes, and it's difficult to admit that the past and the future are happening right now. Then it is your imagination
Yes.
that there was a past, and your imagination that there will be a future. But both past and future are just your imagination. You are imagining and projecting from this very moment the whole history and the whole destiny. History and destiny are just one and are happening in this very moment. This is my understanding, Katalin, and I cannot tell you that the world or the humanity existed before this very now, or will exist after this now. I can tell you that this very instant is so immense, huge. We believe that it is a running. How can I say something? A fleeting moment. It is not. This moment is huge. Is infinite. But we are not used to live in this very now, and we believe in the past and we believe in the future. We believe in time, and in time, whatever is in time or whatever is ruled by time is false.
Yes.
The world is your invention, is your creature, is your creation. You cannot depend upon something that you yourself created. It's impossible. Then you have to recognize, acknowledge yourself as the creator of the entire humanity. And that is something you can say, but this is something that all religions tried to understand, and it's the ideologies, and I tell you, it's very simple. You have to return to yourself, and everything will be clear, very clear to you. What creates perplexity, doubts, fears, and all those things is time. Time is your invention. Time is not something that is coming from someone else, but from you. Time is a paint, is a coat that you put on invisibility, on your inner being, to see what is going on? I mean, you create the world to see what was going on within yourself. Then my my adventure was that I didn't want to go through the world to see what I am, but I went directly to what I am right now. Sorry if I laugh, but to tell you that it's very simple and very, very concrete. Very, 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 you know, it's, the others can tell you that we are in a sort of fantasy, but this is for me pragmatic, concrete, and practical.
This is the final question.
I am an entrepreneur. I am not a spiritual man. I want you to remember this.
Yes. Yes.
I am a businessman, and business has to be done with some principles,
Yes.
which are within yourself and not outside. Outside yourself, you know, you can see many entrepreneurs tells you, I have an idea of the business and entrepreneurship and all those things. I tell you, you have to have some principle, and that is integrity. If you are whole within yourself, the world is a beautiful adventure.
So for all entrepreneurs and for me, and given that this is the final question, what would be the small piece of advice or the simplest form in which that you would give to me and the audience in order to, as an entrepreneur, for example, create a business that, okay, it starts from my principles, it starts from everything that I am. What would be your advice in order to love and live in a state of deathlessness and in a state of amore while doing this? What would be a small piece of advice?
Yeah, what I said before, die less and less. You have to understand what does that mean.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to die less. This is if you die within yourself, the world dies, and your business dies, and your family dies. And if you want your family united and your business to be successful, you have to be an integration. You have to be one within yourself. You have to be fearless, doubtless, deathless within yourself. This is the only job. This is the only work that you have to do, to be deathless. And deathless means to love yourself inside. You cannot say, I love myself, and you repeat it like a mantra. It's not this. To love yourself means absence of death, absence of fear, absence of doubt. But you cannot say to yourself, okay, I am fearless right now. No, you have to watch it and to admit, to accept the fact that you are in a state of fearfulness or fear. And this, to accept it, to be aware of it, is the solution. And you will see that your business will improve. Your everything will improve if you are deathless.
So it is.
This is something that one day you want to give a suggestion to a friend of yours, to your family, or some other businessman. Deathlessness.
What I will try to share is the fact that you should know yourself and fully love yourself in order to live without death.
That's yes. Or let's say you have to die less to love yourself.
Yes.
But this is the same thing. It's the same thing. But it's easier to die less than to love yourself.
Yes.
They are the same thing. But to say anybody can say, I love myself. I mean, I cannot hurt myself. And yet we really harm ourselves all the time. But to say, I will stop dying within, that is interesting. That is interesting. That is, a great design, a great, something that can happen if you really not be afraid of the word dying. Or it's much easier to say love yourself inside, but that doesn't mean anything if you don't tackle the idea of dying less and less.
And you die, just to know if I understood the concept correct, and you die less by eliminating that 99% of what you are not, little by little.
Very good.
Yes.
That's very good.
Yes.
That's very good. This is difficult to accept because we what we are not, we believe to be, and it is not, because we are not fear, we are not doubts, we are not anxieties and all those things. We are not negative emotions or destructive. We are not. That is all things that added to us, and we have to get rid of them. This is to get rid of them, I repeat, is you have to watch yourself. You have to be present to yourself, nothing else. Don't try to change. Don't try to transform yourself, because that is the method and the system that many religions or many sets of systems tried to create. I abandoned all books and philosophies and ideologies and religions. And when you feel free, then the world will follow you. The world will be all gratitude to you. And you will see your family to develop, to improve, and your business and everything. All depends upon you yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you everyone for tuning in to another episode of A Day in the Future. As you could see, it wasn't that much about time, past, present, future, as it was more about living fully and in the present. It was a different type of episode, but one that will surely be remembered, especially for me. You can listen more and see other episodes on the main streaming platforms like Spotify, iTunes, and YouTube, of course. Looking forward to your feedback, and let me know who would you like us to talk next to. Like whose else vision or philosophy of life you would like to understand better. And reach out. See you next time.